Okay, today we're going to do a short class on texturizing. Now, the biggest thing with texturizing is to uh, basically give the hair a cut that's going to let it do exactly what it's supposed to do. So, texturizing is taking that hair and manipulating it. It's moving it in different directions. Uh, by angling your shears different directions, you can get different types of techniques coming out, different types of styles. But texturizing is something that you're going to use to finish it out. As I said before, there's only 4 ways to cut hair: blunt, layered, elevated, and graduated. There is nothing else. Those are your basic hair cutting techniques. Now, what we usually see and what we usually are excited about is the fact that somebody's done something that we haven't seen before, or used a tool that we haven't seen before. You can use almost any one of your cutting tools to texturize the hair. There are several techniques you can use. Some of them are very simple. Some of them require a little bit more skill and a little bit more time to practice. All these techniques need to be practiced, though. You cannot just get up in the morning and start doing them. Almost every hairstylist I know has battle scars from that. So, first thing we're going to do is take the hair, comb all the tangles out because you need to do that. A lot of times I texturize dry, and that's because texturizing is to make the hair go in a certain direction or to control the hair, to give it fullness or to give it a sleek look. It just depends on the technique that you use on what you're going to get as far as the style is done. Um, the most important thing, and a lot of people use this technique. This technique is called uh, point cutting. Now, point cutting is a way to texturize the hair without taking out a lot of length. It's going to keep your length in, but it's going to take a little, give you a little bit more control on the ends. So, first thing is to make sure that you have enough hair out. Uh, if you're going to texturize into the hair at about 1.5 inches, you want to leave out about 2 inches of hair. The reason for that is when you go in, you're going to go in with your shears open. When you come out, you're going to close them. So we're going to go in and out, in and out, in and out. So we're closing on the way out. In, out, in, out. And what this does, it does take off some of the length, but allows you to just take off some of the ends. That way you can remove some of the bulk in certain areas in order to make the hair do what you want it to, or to go in the direction that you want it to go in. The angle of your shears, as I said before, have a lot to do with your texturizing. Now, there are several techniques you can use. This one, since I'm just going to take some off of my tips, I'm going to sit here and just take a little out. But as you can see, on the way out is when I'm closing on the way out. Now, you can point cut to relieve or to release weight, which is you're going to come out a little bit further, leave a little bit more hair out. You can point cut to remove length by going in and not making a complete straight line. Now, one of the biggest problems that people have is when they do a textured haircut, they're still looking for a lot of the straight lines that they got when they did their first part of the haircut. When you start finishing a haircut out, you're going to texturize it and personalize it to that person's head. My saying is there's several people who cut hair, and then there's a lot more people who just cut hair off. There's a difference. I cut hair for the way that the hair moves, the way that the hair grows. We call it, what do we call it? Point of origin cutting, where we start from one area and we work our way out from that area. Start from one section and work our way out from that section, building the style as we go. Now, me and a lot of the other stylists do cut dry a lot. Uh, you're going to have to do that when you finish your style out. After I blow dry, I go back in and I texturize a little bit more just to make sure it's doing exactly what I want it to do. Uh, one way you can control the hair is this, because texturizing is just controlling. I call it cutting on the round. It's something I learned at a class with a company called Click. And when you cut on the round, you're not going to cut a straight line. You're going to bend your finger slightly and create a curve, and then you're going to point cut that curve out. What it does is it automatically makes that hair go under. I'll show you on this spot right here where it's starting to flip out a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to slide it in, close as we're cutting. Give you a little bit harder line, but it is kicking that hair under. See that? That's what you want. So, texturizing can be a lot easier. Like I said, you can use as many tools as you have. I do a lot of texturizing with my shears. And if you notice, my shears are the ones that have the movable thumb to prevent carpal tunnel. That's very important for stylists, and you guys need to look into getting at least one pair of them. If you're a very busy hairstylist, you definitely want to get one of these so it can take some of the weight and some of the pressure off your hands during the day. Now, the good thing about these is a lot of people try them, and when you first try them, they are very scary because they do move. They move differently than your regular shears. But because of that, you can get into different angles. You can get around those ears. You can do all kind of things. Texturizing can be fun. It just depends on how you hold your shears. So, this ring can also be tightened up to where it won't move. And then you basically have a regular set of offset shears, which is what I cut with anyway. Okay? So, we go through that again. When you're texturizing, you want to do what? Point cut. You want to go in, close on your way out, close on your way out, close on your way out. Once you get the technique down, you can do it rather fast, and it's part of the show. If you see, I didn't remove a lot of hair, but I did take off some bulk in the bottom. Okay? Now, another one of my techniques is called, I haven't really given this one a name. Some people have called it scoop cutting because what I do is I go in and I scoop the hair out as I go up. That lets me blend everything in. I can take a hair up in the top that's 2 inches long and blend it into hair that's 16 inches long. And that's because the way that you cut, you're not going to take a lot of bulk out of the middle. You're going to start at the top, and you're going to cut and move your shears out as you cut. Give me a nice clean line. Is that a nice scoop out of there? And what that scoop does is it also controls the hair. It lets it go under. Like say we want the hair to go out the opposite way. Okay? Now, you can tip the hair. Tipping is taking the tips of the shears, which is just this area of the shears, no more than a 1/4 inch. No more than a 1/4 inch of your shear is going to be used. Okay. So, this is tipping. And what tipping does is it also removes a little hair, but it does it gradually. So when the hair starts to grow out, you're not going to have a big chunk of hair pushing up. You're going to have smaller hairs laying down instead of coming to the surface and working their way out. Now, like I said, with tipping, you can use tipping to make the hair flip up. You want to make sure your shears are very sharp because this can be very painful to the customer. But as you can see, I already have that movement going just from the way that I use my shears. So, your shears can always be used as an extension of your hand. So one of the best things, one of the best tools you're ever going to have. So you need to learn to use them correctly. That way, during the years, your hands you won't end up with carpal tunnel or problems with your hands. Okay? So, thank you guys for listening. Really glad you came to my class. Next time, we'll texturize with the razors. You guys have a great day.